Well, hello everyone. Sorry about being a little late to get on air. Hopefully this doesn't lag. I'll wait till I see people pop into the chat. Um, and sorry about a late upload from. I can revisit comments if anyone has any questions. I'll be sure to answer them in the chat. Depending on how smooth that this stream goes, it'll either go for an hour to 2 hours. If it's not a smooth stream, then I'm gonna cap it at 8 p.m. Central Time. But if it's going well, we'll see about it. So, I hope everyone's had a wonderful week. I don't know about you, but I've been feeling a little bit lost with the days just kind of dragging through it by. Like, it feels like a Saturday and Sunday that keeps looping over and over. And that's pretty much what it's been for a while. But with it being said, things have been lagging. I see that it's lagging in the chat. Hello, Evenly Matched 40. Hello, Walk in Truth. Hello, Wanny. Hope you all are doing well. And yeah, with the days just kind of meshing into one giant weekend after next, it's been messing just with my sleep cycles, my energy levels, and everything. Like, even writing wise, I just haven't had the same motivation to do what I need to do. And it's like, at first when I started off, I was feeling pretty productive. I was able to get a lot done, and now I'm like to the point where I'm struggling to continue to get things done. I see I'm getting an error message again about the smoothness of the stream. Walk said, buffering really bad, I can hardly hear. Okay. Let me see if I can turn the gain up for one thing. It might just be a product of what's going on, because it's probably all the people that are using live streams right now. Let me see. Yeah, I've been trying to look at other software, but my issue has been I want something that can run through YouTube, just because I haven't been consistent on being able to tell people when streams are going to start. And when it runs through YouTube, people can at least see it's happening as it's happening. And then a lot of other streaming pages have been paid for, so paying right now for software isn't the most ideal thing for me. Let me see if I can. And Julie said exactly, Saturday, Sunday, around the clock. Yeah, it's just been a loop. It's horrible. It's like, it feels like it's never going to end in some sense. And then, of course, there's people protesting, and it's probably just going to make things get worse for a short period of time instead of any better. So, Whole True said, keep routine going, make a daily planner. That's actually a good idea to get motivation back. I really do need that, because I have a video that I actually, like, I have the subject matter this time, so I know I will be able to follow through with this Wednesday's video. But I admit, like, last week, I just, for some reason, could not find, I was praying and I just couldn't find much inspiration, much motivation, and just the monotony of the looping days was getting to me mentally, and then just a lot of other things personally were just burdening me a lot, and it was really difficult. And Hold True also said goals, etc. That's what I do. That's a good idea. It really is. I need to be more organized. I could definitely use that, especially right now. I feel like when I was working every day, like going out to work, because I have my, when I'm not doing like work where I'm going out and doing something in the community, or, you know, in an office or in the field, then I'm usually trying to be artistic, be creative. The issue with creative work is like pushing past writer's block, pushing past video block. And then when you feel like, oh, I'm going to have 100 more days of this, it feels like, where do you find the inspiration to get started? Or where do you start from? And it's horrible because I feel like I'm a usually productive person, but lately, like this last week or so, I've been anything but productive in many ways. I've also just been feeling pretty heavy lately with everything going on. It just feels like everything's so bleak. I can't explain it, but, you know, I've really had to... Sorry if you hear noise in the background real quick.
Little Red Riding Hood.
This video's buffering. Okay. Hopefully. Alright. I also want to see if there's any comments I need to address from the last video as well. Because it was over if there was a famine. And some of you guys had some really interesting comments. Hi, Prodigal Son's Return, and hi... Okay, sorry. I for a minute thought someone else had jumped in the chat. So, Evenly Match 40 said, buffered a couple of times for me, but got better each time I refreshed. Interesting, yeah. I'm just gonna assume it's probably just... It could be on my end, it could just also be, you know, the internet's overwhelmed. Everybody's at home on the internet all day. You know, one way to escape the internet is just to walk outside or take a nap or something. Or, I don't know. And, Prodigal Son said, hey Dazz, just stopping by briefly to say hi and praying for you. God bless this. Thank you. And Wanny said same. Holtrue said, what do you think of Marina and Bill Gates' thing with VR? Virtual reality? I guess I'm not in the loop. What all did they do? Let me just see. I'm really tired of seeing Bill Gates, hearing about Bill Gates, honestly. Oh, I see. Here's how virtual reality can help fight disease. How to watch virtual reality 360 video. I'm not too familiar on it, I guess. Microsoft's decadent VR featuring satanic artists famed by spirit. Oh. How could I forget? Arena, that's what you're talking about. Oh, that lady that was involved in the whole Pizzagate scandal and her weird, bizarre Luciferian art. A tone-deaf Microsoft ad featuring performance artist Marina Abramovich has been memory holded after it was pillared online. Was it her spirit cooking notoriety from the Podesta emails, or are people just sick of wealth flaunting? An ad featuring the Serbian performer's latest project, a mixed reality installation incorporating Microsoft's HoloLens virtual reality platform, clearly touched a nerve before it was removed earlier this week, and the video received over 25,000 thumbs down on YouTube before it was yanked. And while comments are turned off, it's safe to say the reception was a frosty one. I feel like people are just sick, too, of seeing these same people, like, not only flaunt their money in people's face, but flaunt their weirdness and their paganism and stuff and bizarre art. What do I think of it? I think it's probably more ritualistic, if anything else, I would say. And then, too, I guess we're on the 3rd week of April, and it's the 20th, 4/20. But it's also Hitler's birthday, and it's also the anniversary of Columbine, among many other things that have happened in this week. Evenly Matched 40 said the best video of him is getting pied in the face. I don't think I've seen that video. I'd have to look it up. Now I really do want to see it, because, you know, I'm tired of, honestly, like, some people in the news, I'm just like, can I not hear about them all the time? Hi, Craig, how are you? I see Craig said, hi, Dazz, hi, everyone. I'm still sub and just checking in to see how everyone is doing. and hope you're doing well. I'm going to jump really quick over to the comment section of the last video because some of you guys made some comments on the subject matter was what if there was a famine, and I'm with you guys, there probably will be because it does talk about it in scripture, and while people say it's less likely, you know, it could take a few things to cause it. I'm not going to rehash the video. If you're interested in seeing it and you haven't, you can watch it. If not, then you can just infer off the comments. So the Truth and Lie said, during the Great Depression, they gave seeds to people and encouraged them to grow gardens, similar to what you mentioned. Although today in some states seed is currently considered not essential, I would hope we could grow and work together like we have in the past, but it appears that, number one, people don't have the skills we once did. Number two, it could be against the public as a means of control rather than a chance to actually rebuild. So I really liked her comment because one thing I did mention is, say there was a famine, spoiler alerts. I feel like one way to curb it and even to get started now is to garden. Have your own little garden in your backyard. I know, like, I used to work at a food bank last year, and one thing they did was they encouraged people to keep, like, their own little community garden and then, you know, give a little bit to the food bank and then they could save the rest for themselves. It was supposed to encourage community gardening, you know, healthier living, healthier diet and everything else, but it's also good if you hit a famine because, you know, there may not be the same amount of potatoes or fresh vegetables or fruit. And I know, like, we're a society of processed foods, but we need more green. We need more healthy options. Terry said, yes, this is going to happen, and a famine for God's word, like in the book of Amos. Very true. Evenly Matched 40, who's also in the chat, said, similar to what appears to be happening with COVID-19, a famine could be planned and used to create future laws, restrictions, and force people to adapt to new ways of life. One possibility involves the use of weather warfare to target and destroy a large supply of crops while also using the control they have to disrupt the supply of food in other subtle ways. They could blame it all on climate change and enact laws that tie into Agenda 21. I think most of us know that it's not only a matter of what if there was a famine, but also when and how and why. They have the weapons, tools, propaganda, and the overall level of control to starve us if it fits the motives in some way, which I believe will happen one day. There's definitely talk of, you know, weather warfare and, you know, natural disasters that could occur. I know, like, a volcanic eruption over in Yellowstone, or even, like, we have a lot of, like, fault lines in the United States. One thing I've realized from traveling the country, I've been to 41 out of the 50 states. I've been to Hawaii. The only non-continental state I haven't been to is Alaska, and I want to go one day. But basically, I've been on a cross-country. I've been cross coast to coast twice, and I live in the middle of the country, and I've been out to the West Coast and East Coast a few times, and one thing you find is it takes about 6 days to drive. Maybe if you're really fast, 4. But as you're driving the country, you realize how massive it is, and just there's so much land for farming. There's so much just open space. But also, you have a lot of, just the geography is crazy. Like, you can drive literally from plains into canyons, into mountains, into beaches. It blows my mind every time I go out on a road trip. It never gets old to me. And with that being said, one area I have not been to is, like, I lived in Sacramento, but, like, I've never been to, like, Montana, Washington, Oregon. That area I would love to go someday. That's, like, on my bucket list of final states to hit. But there's a lot of, like, especially out west, seismic activity, a lot of fault lines, but you also have fault lines in the Boot Heel of Missouri as well. And all it takes is a bad earthquake, a bad volcanic eruption, flooding like we see in the Midwest constantly, where you have the Mississippi and Missouri River, that they're always going to flood, especially now because of ice storms and snowstorms and the spring and summer heat. So when you have all that happening, it can really affect just farming and agriculture as well. Let me jump back over into the comment section before I read more comments. Give me just a second. Hi, Ann Cage. Hope you're doing well. And ANK said, this one isn't buffering as bad yet. I love your, like, yet. With the little ellipses. Yeah, I hope it doesn't. You know, I know that there's probably going to be some buffering throughout it. I'm going to try to push through it. Craig asked, Dazz, has your self-quarantine ended yet? LOL. Yeah, it ended a long time ago. I've been out to the grocery store and stuff to get my bare essentials, but I don't really go out much in general. I'm an introvert, so, like, besides going on walks to exercise or going to the grocery store or going to, like, a doctor's appointment, I'm not really going to be out much. Unless, like, I'm going to see a friend or someone, you know, that's really it. But Julie said, don't be too hard on yourself, Daz. It's not a normal world anymore. It's a lot to take in, especially, I think, for your generation, even if you are a Christian and know the signs of the times. Thank you. Yeah, it does weigh on, like, you to think about it, and things have been definitely very, like, somber lately. Craig said, hi, Daz. Things have really changed this past month. I can agree with that. Hi, Brent Hollingsworth. And Brent said, I don't have video. What's up? So the screen should be blacked out with the logo of the channel in the top left corner. I don't know how it looks to everyone watching with the buffering and all, but there's nothing necessarily on screen. Walk said, just plain potatoes, nice. Potatoes are so good. I love them. Sweet potatoes, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, potato, yeah, it's good. Craig said, and is there really a dangerous virus, or could the sudden deaths be from 5G in Wuhan and other cities? I don't know anyone who is sick or dying. I did not know anyone who was supposedly sick until a couple of weeks ago. Someone I used to work with at the food bank claims that they were diagnosed with COVID. Like, they said they tested positive. Now, I don't know him personally anymore. I don't work at that place. He said he had been quarantining, so I don't know, but that's the only person I can name so far. My parents don't know anyone within their companies that have been sick, and I don't know anyone who worked with me in the program I was in that's sick. So that's as much as I know so far as my personal connections. Does anyone else know anyone who's sick right now? So let me go back up. I see Craig told Walk he was eating potatoes for dinner. Have to love him. And Kate said, famines have been happening for, well, thousands of years. Sometimes I think we in Western culture think all Bible prophecies about us. We tend to interpret it through a Western lens. I can definitely agree with you there. Famines are a part of a lot of people's lives. I guess the idea is if there was like an actual famine that hit coast to coast, and how people would really adapt, or how our society would go about solving the issue. Julie said, all of our generation are probably mourning parts of your life and futures because it's painful to be in this world so close to the end times, and I'd say very much anxiety provoking your nerves and minds. Definitely can be kind of sombering. Like, I think about, like, a lot's changed for me, at least in the past year, since I've kind of talked to you guys. So, you know, I've gotten a chance for my last job to volunteer, travel around the country, live on the West Coast, live on the East Coast, live outside of the country. You know, I actually started dating, and I'm currently in a relationship and everything. And, you know, I think about the future, like, okay, what's it going to be like? What happens if I one day, you know, end up getting married? Whether it's, you know, to who I'm with right now or to someone else, and then what if I have children and all that. And it's things that never really crossed my mind when I was slightly younger and wasn't really dating and hadn't really been out as much, so I don't know. And then you see all this and you're just like, I don't even know anymore. But I'm taking it by the day, trusting God. And Kate, oh man, the buffering begins. It really is, yeah, it's sad how this, like, it goes smooth and then it buffers. Julie said, maybe pray that God draws you to your, giving goals and will for your life in bids in writing. Thank you. I can definitely pray about that, because that's something I definitely need to get more motivation in. Hi, Dank. Craig said, how many here are wearing the mask and staying inside and social distancing? I'm curious if the media brainwashing is working on believers. I've been staying in mainly too because there's nowhere to go as well. Like, everything's shut down here. Wearing masks, no. Social distancing from my family, no. Hold True said, may God bless your family and fill your home with love. Thank you. Same to you, Hold True. See, Craig is mentioning the buffering and getting worse. Let's see. Craig said, if people wore masks for during my life and went into a store or bank, people would think they were going to be robbed. Very true, but times have definitely changed. Craig also said, I know a lady that knows a friend who has a dog, and that dog knows a cat that is sick. Oh my god. I love your sense of humor. Hi, Antonio Wilson. Antonio said this lady at job husband got COVID and she kept coming to work till she caught it at Walmart. Interesting. Very interesting. Were there any, like, symptoms that she showed? Because I know, like, mostly everyone here doesn't know anyone personally with it, but, like, was there any, like, signs or anything that kind of, like, manifested on her? That was she coughing? Did she seem like she had the flu or pneumonia? Like, they keep changing, like, what the symptoms are, so there's a lot of skepticism on that, too. It looks like I've caught up to the comments for now, so what I'm going to do is jump back over to the last video, read a few more comments, and then check back in on the chat and see what everyone's talking about. So I just want to say that said, I guess it was a reply to Meta Prophet on Twitter, vaguely tweets about what I am doing every day. I think he uses a trip seat to astral project into my room and stuff, and then tweets what I'm doing using plausible deniability in a way that makes me afraid and curious to check his account. Interesting. I know astral projection is a real thing, and, you know, some people are skilled at it, so, you know, I'm glad I do not know how to astral project. I used to actually have some experiences where I'd see people in my dreams that claim they astral projected, and I've told this story before, so sorry if you hear it for a millionth time, but I had a friend once when I was about 18 years old, 17 or 18, and he was into the New Age, and he was a friend I met on the internet, so it was a long-distance friendship. And one day he messages me and tells me, hey, you have really strong angels. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I tried to astral project to you, but I couldn't get to you because of your angels. And I was like, what? And I'll never understand exactly what that all meant, but I know, like, I believe people do try to astral project. Walk in Truth, who's also in the comment section of the chat, said, yes, we are on our way to having a famine, but not just food. Spiritually, there is already a famine across the world. I have to completely agree. That's so true. Couldn't have said it better. For anyone wanting to grow potatoes or onions, you can use the roof stout method, which is where you place hay on top of potatoes and they grow on their own. You can check this out on YouTube on how to do it. Stock up on food now so you can feed your family and share with others. Thank you for sharing those tips too, Walk, as well for those in the future. Rebecca said there will be famine everywhere. JG 1982 said Fluffy would be on dinner table. I think many are in famine right now. Instead of bread lines, car lines, pack up for miles to get food donations, kids would literally be eating parents out of house and home, if not for school, still providing free breakfast and lunches. Self-propelled stomachs would be on a rampage, devouring all flesh in sight with fangs bared. I love the pictures that JG is painting. Nothing would be safe. Bats, rats, cats, Fluffy would be on the menu real quick. People would eat a stinky leather shoe if it came down to it. Mad Max type of situation might occur. The government would have to step in for sure. Would the 1% of finances really care if the public tore themselves to pieces, or would they hide in underground bunkers? I have to say most likely the underground bunkers because, you know, I mean, we know they have them. And then Nathaniel Hoffman said, do you think this is the Black Horse Rider? This is my Christian channel, by the way. All things prophecy, eschatology, theology, etc., etc. Miss you. Hope things are well in Sacramento, California. Are you back in KC yet? Yes, I'm back in Kansas City and no longer in Sacramento. Miss our talks. I'll see you on Monday. Can't wait to talk to you. Hope everything is well. Keep doing God's work, babe. You're a gem. Alright. And then God is the Alpha Omega. Children of God, or Lisa, gave me a thumbs up. Okay. heart. It's good to hear from Lisa. Sorry, guys. I'm jumping between the chat and I'm jumping between the comment section of the last video. So, let's see. Walk said, if you had flu shot ever, test positive for CV. Interesting. Yeah, I've never had it before. Like a flu shot. I'm a rebel, apparently. I'm an enemy of the state, according to my manager from last year. But she, like I said, she was very much avid on people getting shots. And Craig said, Dazz, yeah, I'm happy you're dating. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'm happy too. I'm going on my 3rd month in another week or so. And Cage said, oh, I'll share the link. Let me see if I can copy the link you shared. Because I feel like every time I try to take a link out of the chat, like links have been broken. What I might have to do if I can't get your link to open is I could probably... I think it might actually work. Yes. Let's see. Hey, on Cage, I live on a semi-remote native reservation inside Canada. My sister's entire household of 6 were the first ones to get sick, including a 6-month-old baby, all recovered. Total 9 on my reserve with 1 death in my community so far. Sorry about the death, but I'm glad, that people are managing to recover from being sick. Craig said, boys are made of greasy, grimy, goofer guts and chopped up liver guts. Girls are sweet and everything nice. Oh my god, not this again. Sounds like elementary school. And Cage also said, my brother-in-law's wife works at a senior's home near her. There have been 23 deaths there so far. She also has tested positive. She tested positive 3 weeks ago and continues to test positive. Sounds like there's a lot of that happening. I just think, some of us are not necessarily in the hotbed of it, but I definitely think there's something going around. Jolie said, Dazz, did you ever get a chance to watch that Chuck Missler video about the Far East China? I started to watch it, and then I think I got distracted. I need to watch it. I'm going to put it on a list of things. I need to make a planner, as Whole Tree was earlier. That's a good idea. I don't have a 2020 planner. What I can do is to make, because you guys send me good links, and sometimes I click on them right away and watch them. Sometimes I bookmark them or put them in my watch later, and then I get distracted. What I need to do is commit to making a list of these are videos I need to watch and go from there. But I was curious because I remember you mentioning that area, that region, and I had just come back and I was excited to see. But famine, I feel like, is a real possibility. One thing I forgot to mention, and I was going to write a comment about it, but a lot of things I forgot or didn't get around to it. Another byproduct of a famine would be people would probably do what they did in Venezuela and start eating zoo animals. People were starving so badly that, who's going to afford to go to the zoo anymore? So people were breaking into the zoo and eating poor wild animals. And by the way, I have a question to ask you all in the chat. I don't know how familiar with it, but because I've had so much downtime and I've been seeing a lot of people on social media talk about the show Tiger King, it's really being pushed because I guess it's what's trending in Netflix right now, and it's all about private zoos. I'm someone who does think about animal rights and animal safety and everything. I hate the idea of exotic animals being trafficked. When I was a younger person, I used to love going to zoos. I like circuses and everything. Now that I'm a little bit older, I really don't like to I don't know, I have mixed feelings. I like seeing wild animals, but then I think about how they're so far from home, and just how they really don't belong in cages they're put in. Just I don't like the fact that people are put in cages either. I understand if someone commits a legitimate crime, they should be in jail, but other than that, it's just sad. And where was I going with this? Private zoos. it's interesting how they present the idea of private zoos, but yet, Joe's character is so, he's like, he's very like crazy and nutty, and I feel like it's like in favor of him, even though they show how he went wrong, and I just feel like, I don't know, it's interesting they're pushing Tiger King in this day and age. But let me see. Hi, Thief of Hearts. Thief of Hearts said, "Hi, Dazz. Have you seen that video on YouTube called Out of the Shadows?" I actually have not. Walk said, "Just a warning about the testing they are doing. The FDA and CDC sites say they're only to be used to presume, not diagnose." Thank you for the clarification, Walk. And Julie said, "Chuck Missler, King of the East, Session 1 is the actual name of the video if anyone else wants to see it too." Thank you for sharing that information. Let me jump back over to the link because I got a little bit of sidetracked. It's still loading. For some reason, when I'm on streams, my internet has been running extremely slow and I can't figure out why. Here it goes. So, it says it's from April 16th, and Pentagon study flu shots raises coronavirus by 36% in other supporting studies. On March 12, 2020, Anderson Cooper and Dr. Sanjay Gupta held a global town hall on coronavax and fears. During the discussion, Anderson said to the viewing audience, "And again, if you are concerned about coronavirus and haven't gotten a flu shot, you should get a flu shot." Setting safety and efficacy of influenza vaccination aside, is Anderson's claims that the flu shot will help people fight COVID-19 remotely true? The short answer is no. In fact, the result of many peer-reviewed, published studies prove that Anderson's recommendation may have been the worst advice he could have given the public. In searching the literature, the only study we have been able to find assessing flu shots and coronavirus is a 2020 U.S. Pentagon study that found that the flu shot increases the risk from coronavirus by 36%. Receiving influenza vaccination may increase the risk of other respiratory viruses, a phenomenon known as virus interference. Vaccine-derived virus interference was significantly associated with coronavirus. Here are the findings. 2020 Pentagon study. Flu vaccines increase risk of coronavirus by 36%. Examining non-influenza viruses, specifically the odds of coronavirus in vaccinated individuals, were significantly higher when compared to unvaccinated individuals, with odds ratio association between an exposure and an outcome of 1.36. In other words, the vaccinated were 36% more likely to get coronavirus. Interesting. Thank you for the article, because I could see that, like, if you think about even like vaccination, so they work, you're putting a strain of whatever that is inside of that individual's immune system, and supposedly it's supposed to help it adapt. So if that actual virus or whatever comes into their immune system, then they're able to fight it off. I'm sorry if I sound very I'm not explaining this well, but that's what, supposedly vaccinations are made to do. Thief of Hearts said buffering has started. No, not again. It'd go away. It'd be off and on. Walk said, "Check out Dr. Rashid A. Butter, who is exposing everything." But yeah, it's crazy. Like, they're gonna keep pushing, vaccinations and flu shots regardless of what's really, even if it's more of a risk, just because there's that agenda to do it. What do you guys think about the fact that they're saying, there's been they said there's a new low hit with the crude oil? Let me see if I can find it. Any thoughts on that? Who knew 2020 was going to be a year of just shutting yourself inside all day? What do you guys make? Also the what was I gonna say? I'm trying to remember. I feel like I'm drawing a blank on air. And when it comes back to me, to come back to me, it was U.S. crude prices plunge. So, but there was also it just seems like we're in odd times. The Evil Heart said, "Is Tiger King guilty or innocent?" Tiger King. So that's Joe Exotic. Apparently, I haven't finished the series yet, but he did a murder plot for hire against Carol Baskin. She supposedly runs like a big cat rescue in Tampa, Florida, and supposedly what she's doing is rescuing cats from private zoos, and she's against people keeping these cats that are brought over, usually smuggled over and put. All right, I reset it again. I don't know if that's gonna make a better deal or not, but we'll see. Julie said, "I hear her again, but it's off and on." Yeah, it's the lag. The server's really. Yard Ape said, "Dazz, are you needing a new modem? I had to buy one last month." I don't think I do, but maybe I do. I don't know. Everything's messed up because even going to a store to see about getting new stuff, no stores are open for you to go walk around in. It's like new clothes, but I can't go shopping in person. I couldn't do online shopping, but measurements keep changing. It's like I could wear 5 different sizes depending on the store I'm shopping in. So that's why I don't trust online shopping, because I'm not a consistent person. Usually technology demons don't want us fellowshipping. It really starting to feel like that, because it's like this is always happening. And like I know we had a good week the second week I came back, and I was happy. I mean, it was still a little buggy. This has been better than the last couple weeks, but still, I wish things were a little bit smoother. And for those who've kind of entered the chat late, I asked if anyone has any prayer requests. I'm happy to pray about it. Sorry if like there's a delay in what I'm saying. But yeah, it's this connection, like excellent to error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. It's like, okay, thank you. Thank you for telling me the obvious. But regardless, it's always good connecting with you guys. I think like things will get better once things open back up and more people are off the internet. Either that or I'm gonna have to, I don't know, like my issue with going somewhere else is just the simple fact that whenever I try to go like to another platform, a lot of it is pay. You gotta pay to like be able to stream at certain times, or you can only do a certain like amount of time, like 30 minutes, and then you gotta pay for it after that. Then also, like, because I haven't been consistently telling people when the streams are gonna start, I have to make sure everything is set up, and then like going through another website. I don't know. I just prefer this is frustrating in some extent. Yardape said, "My tech nerd told me that he gets a new modem every year. You can order one online. Just make sure you have the one approved by your ISP. I had mine for over 2 years before it died." I might look into that actually, because that might really make some sense. Because I'll be honest with you, I live in a full house right now. All my siblings and me are home. There's 3 of us and my mom, and we all have our own, computers, our laptops, our phones. So like, there's so much like, you know, everything's connecting into the same, Wi-Fi box. Everything is connected. Could be lagging things, and then I live in a subdivision where probably everybody is also working from home as well. So it's enough to crash the internet. Honestly, I feel like. we're breaking the internet every day. So I like the internet in a way, but good advice, you already. Oh, sorry. Like, I feel like I'm getting too close and my is ringing. But anyways, I guess because we're coming up on 8:02, I'm gonna say a prayer. If anyone hears me by the time I'm finished, you can ask me to add to it. If not, I'll pray for you later. So, Father, thank you again for another wonderful time and the ability for all of us to come together in fellowship. I just pray that, in the future we can figure out a way to have a smooth stream, whether it's a new modem, whether it's something I'm doing on my end, internet server being overwhelmed, whether it's a need for a new modem, or it's another platform. Just give clarity and help me to know what to do.